Welcome back to a new video. So this is an update on the good old Guardians franchise. So we're gonna look at the manager history, and our first season was actually probably the best first season I've probably ever had. We are one game from the World Series. We won Manager of the Year and finished 95 and 67. And then the second year, hilariously enough, we also lost in Game 7 of the Championship Series. Both years were to the Yankees as well. So not good RNG for us on there. But our pitching was definitely our most lacking thing in both years, and our offense was pretty good. You can see top 6 offense and on base and batting percentage, all that good stuff. We'll go through some of our pitchers and some of our bullpen, but we have a really good bullpen. We just need to improve our starting pitching. So we'll go here, and we did get rid of one person, which I believe is where Michael Kennedy is filling in. I think it was like Justin Verlander or someone. I forget because I haven't been working with this for a couple days now because life gets busy. But you can see definitely can improve with the starter, especially like Luis Severino did not pitch well. Same with Robert Colina, did not pitch well, but we had probably the best closer and setup combination in baseball, both 1.55 and under 1.15 ERA, and just a solid bullpen in every possible way. Our hitting was pretty good, so we've had some prospects be able to get up and get some experience. Chase Delauder will be certainly someone that will hold down the outfield for some time. Angel Martinez kind of overplayed in a sense that he played better than what he probably should have, but with 65 contact, he definitely was getting better. Jose Ramirez holding it down at third, and we actually traded for Vlad Guerrero and Adley Richmond at some point. I think he was this year, or it might have been both in the offseason, but yeah, we made some pretty big trades to get them, so we're really solidifying a lot of our lineup. We also have Jordan Walker here, who did not play very well in the last year, but still has good potential and someone that could be, competing with Jonathan Rodriguez here for that outfield time. But I feel like our hitting is kind of set up really well. Our pitching needs to do a lot of work. So let's see and look at, all right, so we already went past the salary arbitration. All right, so we're a little ways in to the off season, but basically we need to find some pitching. So we're gonna go to, I believe we're in free agency right now. Here we go. So unfortunately, it doesn't look like there's really any good pitchers right now for us to really target. So we can potentially look to make a trade. So let's look at our lineup to see if there's anyone that's kind of redundant. So he might be redundant because we have Khalil Watson that's young and able to play. We also have Travis Bazania that is there, and Rocchio. So we're going to try to trade him, shop him around to see if we can find some pitching, in which we'll look for this first time, but then we will switch that to a starting pitcher when we search the second time. My seat is slowly sinking down, so I'm not getting shorter, but the seat is sinking because apparently I weigh too much. But there's not anyone that's really that fantastic. We could overpay for an old reliever. It always seems like there's just too many relievers that are available. We can get Noah Cameron, but it's not really moving the needle too much. So unfortunately, there's not too much there. We'll go back to all players and go to multiplayer, and then we'll do this to see if there is anyone that any potentially better trades. No, there's just not. We can overpay for some people, but nobody really wants Hye-Sung Kim. I think that's how you would say his name. So this player actually would be really interesting. So Petey here, pretty average hitter, more so a defensive outfielder. He did play a good amounts this season, batted .261, but we do have the ability to potentially get off his contract, which isn't really too bad at all, but we just don't really need him, and then potentially get that first baseman. So we'll look here. Tony Escobar would be way too expensive to get as far as the talent we'd have to give up. We can go down to see if there's anyone else that is potentially interesting, but I kind of like that first trade that was there. So unless anything kind of noteworthy pops out, even though he's a first baseman prospect, that's someone that we can kind of throw in. Can he play anything? So he can play the outfield as well. Not really that great, But let's discuss here, and we can take off Petey and see if we can just throw him something else, which it looks like we're going to be able to. So we'll see if there's anyone that we don't really value too much. So Connor here, last year at AA, 5.2 ERA. So that's someone that we can definitely throw in. So I'm definitely happy with that trade. Doesn't really solve our pitching problem though. So we're gonna look down here. So we kind of want to keep Ralphie here. He's only 21. He's a catching prospect. He didn't bat well up in the majors, but 260 in the minors. But potentially, since we have more control over him and Bo Naylor, he could elicit us a good player as far as pitching goes. So let's see if we're able to find someone that's interesting as far as a potential starting pitcher, or someone that has the potential to become a starting pitcher. There's that Noah Cameron again. So there's no one really crazy that they're offering for him. Max Carlson would probably be like the best potential, but we're gonna go here and see what we could potentially get. So we have a 2-star and a 2-star. Is it a concussion? Oh, torn elbow ligament. I thought he had a concussion for a second. He got hit. I was thinking maybe he got hit with a baseball, but we have here Keaton Wynn, which 28-year-old starting pitcher, pitched pretty well in a little bit of action, but obviously they just want, actually not too much because those guys are not really that great, but Ralphie's a little bit too good for a trade like that, so nothing really too crazy. So what we're going to do is come back here. We're going to advance a week and then potentially look for trading for so we'll look at that here in a second. So we have a good shortstop prospect. I guess that's another thing we can do really quick. We can go to the front office, player development, and then kind of just scroll down and I'll show you some of the main prospects. So Alton Davis, one of our first draft, he's 29th overall prospect, only 2.5-star potential. He was obviously higher when we drafted him. Didn't play too well last year, but still some good hope for him. Then we have Victor Falls, that's in the rookie league, and then a center fielder and starting pitcher. So we have some decent guys, some decent players, I would say. So Eduardo is a solid, good hitting prospect, which is one reason we could honestly probably move on from. And then Luis Miarjo, I think that's close enough how you say his name. But let's look here. We have Rule 5. So with these, I'm curious if I go. All right, so I feel like with these guys, we just throw them all into the ACL. How many players do we have there? Kind of going about this in ADHD type fashion. At least get rid of those two guys. And then see if there's anyone that's too old. All right. So we threw those guys up there. Let them play some rookie ball. Curious if any of them will turn out to be anything. We have Austin Peterson, which we just don't need. And then we throw him onto the main roster for now. And now we can look here at our lineup to see. So we definitely want to keep him. Potentially, though, we can move on from him if there's sufficient interest, and then keep Bo Naylor and Ralphie here. So we're going to do two things. We're going to essentially, we want to get a starting pitcher. We want a good starting pitcher, which is why we can offer someone of more value. So we have Grayson Rodriguez, which would kind of fill a need. And I actually think we traded him from Baltimore. It's always hilarious how that happens. They want to trade for him back. Potentially Daniel Espinosa, which we traded to them. So I believe that's how we got him. We traded Daniel Espinosa and some other players there. But unfortunately with Daniel, he's very fragile. And every time I ever have him, he always gets hurt, which is very, very realistic because in real life, he's just hurt all the time. So what I think we'll do, though, is actually look to trade him back. So let's see if we can actually trade. Oh, they'll just accept with both players. That is actually insane. So we're going to try to get some more guys. I was thinking we're going to have to trade someone else there. All right, we can't get Dusty. So he didn't pitch too well. I'm gonna see if they throw him in, what we have to give up. So quite a bit. Let's go to the majors and see. I mean, we could try to even get another starting pitcher. My chair is really sinking, so we gotta fix that really quick. There we go. I'm back to normal height. So potentially, there's no one really too interesting as far as that goes. Let's look at their AAA. See if there's anyone. So Cade Povich, let's see if we can throw him in. So we can actually get him as well. And man, we got a lot of people. So they're really interested in getting their catcher back. Because he batted with us 293 in 40 games and 317. So obviously, you know, really good hitter. What we could also do, can't get them. Does he have any stamina? So he's 25-year-old. Do we just throw him in? Okay. We get some money as well. All right, so. Oh, they want to give us 10 million. All right, I feel like this is more than fair. So we're gonna get 3 good pitchers. We're gonna get Daniel Espinosa back and Grayson Rodriguez, which we'll be able to plop right into our starting lineup as far as pitching goes. And then potentially Cade could work his way up to there. Unfortunately, obviously we trade really good catcher, but we're just kind of desperate for pitching. So we will see if that's play will backfire. We're just gonna release, or no, he's only 22. Cancel. We'll release this guy. He is 27 and he's not really doing much in the minors. So we're gonna throw him on there, and we'll actually just let the AI realign. For the off season is really useful, just because you throw some extra people on your main roster. And then the other thing I want to do here is to look at the development lab and to see where people are. So potentially, you know, a guy like this, we're going to leave on for sure. And then we leave it at 20, at least as far as what I want to do, because I feel like that's more like most people in the off season are going to be training. So Guy Lipscomb, I kind of just want to leave him in. I don't think it really matters because he's a 2-star left fielder. So you kind of just have to leave him there. And we do have some vacant slots of some guys that we traded. So we're going to look here. And we can throw Bizania in. And he only plays, okay, he plays second and first now a little bit, which is not really that great. But we're going to go, probably not bother with him. Can he play only do 2 positions? We'll see. What's his, let me see his speed. That's what we want to look at. I am blind, so we do have to do that. All right, so running speed. Let's see if we can. I wish it would tell you what it could potentially improve. Base running ability. Interesting. I feel like we just throw that in there. And then Eduardo here. His defense is always really good. Already really good, I should say. He only plays catcher, so let's see if we can get him to... we can't get him... I guess he was already there at some point, or he is already there. That is something that they do need to fix, is when you have players that are already there, you can't... Like, it doesn't take them off with their... Cooper Ingle, another catching prospect, so... We got Bo Naylor here. Who else would be good? I guess we just look at prospects and then see if there's anyone that's not okay, so we can throw him in. His defense is only 25. I feel like these are pretty cheap things to try to improve. And then here we don't need to worry about the pitching, and we can throw... All right, so we're not going to worry about that for now. All right, so we're good here. And we could also potentially look at the trading blocks. So older catcher. We need to separate to here. So nobody that's really we can see. I mean, what do you want for that? So I mean, he's only 3-star. Pitched pretty well last year. See if there's anyone like we need Galvin Williams. Pitched for us last year, so there's no one really I want to give up because like we could just throw like he does. He's gonna be about as good as that guy. So we're chilling there. And I think that's about good for this one. So a little update there. So we're gonna be working in the off season, and next week's video I have a little updates about the progress of how our team's doing. But I think our hitting is really good, so we can see if we can find more pitching potentially, or if we're just gonna rock and roll with that. So we will see. Yeah, sometimes with the trade things it becomes kind of funny. But yeah, that's gonna be it for this one. So if you made it to this point, I appreciate it. I'll talk to you all in the next one. Peace.